kick it over to pre-show. Actually, open our window up here. All right, we are pre-showing.
It's been a couple weeks. How's it been?
It's been 2 weeks. It's been good, man. It's been good. Not a whole lot. Like I'm undertaking some projects at the moment that are gonna like pay off like in April or May. So I guess that's a
Oh,
good
okay.
spring thing.
Like
But I'm setting my Beretta
night
out.
gigs or what?
Not side gigs, no, just like stuff I've been wanting to do. Like
Okay.
I'm sending my Beretta out to get Langdoned finally, so I'm getting an RDO cut for the slide. I'm also getting the barrel ported, which is gonna be fucking sweet.
Mm.
Um, I also am gonna get some professional photos done in April because I realized recently I have like nothing professional since probably 2008. And I was like, I should get like, some good headshots in case I do want a job hunt or something like that. And, like some nice looking professional photos might help for dating apps. I also just want cool ass fucking photos of me at the state capitol in Utah in April when the cherry blossoms are all blossoming because I think that would look fucking cool.
Mm.
But what else? Oh, did I ever tell you about the we are in show, so I guess I could talk about this. One of the managers I have at work who's like a key holder but like works 3 days a week. Did I ever tell you about that?
Maybe. I guess like is this the guy who's like wishy-washy on the girls who were not pulling their weight?
No, that was different. But this one,
Okay.
all right, we'll go over it off camera then because there's too many
Okay, yeah, we can
details.
talk about it later.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
But hello everyone, or all one of you joining us this evening.
It's me in
Oh,
the
it's you.
chat.
What's up,
No,
you?
I need to reblog it. Let me
Yeah,
reblog
let's
it on
do
camera
that.
real
You
quick.
reblog and I'll reblog your reblog. Oh man. But yeah, like more
Um,
Ukrainian shit has developed. Like they had that wonderful meeting the Friday after we were supposed to have the podcast last week. So I'm glad we skipped because that's meat for the show.
no, everything's just juicy, right?
Oh,
It's all cooking.
one other update, minor update. I got a new device. It's much larger. And this little collar in the middle here, these like unscrew so you can disassemble it and scrub it out.
Oh yeah, you don't have to use like the fucking like straw loofah
Yeah,
thing to get
exactly.
in
You're
there.
not like shaking it with like isopropyl and salt, which is like it kind of works, but it's not
It kind of works.
like if I'm gonna be
Yeah.
inhaling
Uh,
this, I want to get in there with like a brush and soap and just like fucking like decimate everything that's not glass.
yeah.
Mm,
Totes.
totes.
Dope. I mean,
Well,
like you could use like a little like fucking sandblaster thing, but who wants to go through all that shit?
exactly. Now I gotta get like an air compressor in my kitchen. It's just a whole fucking nah. Oh,
All right. Yeah, so I reblogged it. Hopefully we get like a couple folks.
yeah,
Like we could post in the clubhouse that
we
we're
should
live.
we should be doing that. We should remember we have a fucking clubhouse full of people who like us.
Let me copy the link.
Word.
Oh, we could roast Ohio Ted's fucking ring if we wanted to. It's not
Oh
that bad.
no, it's not. For an old school ring, it's a good ring. Like there's
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
craftsmanship in the actual design, and like the fact that you have that kind of webbing, and like it's that old and hasn't like fucking destroyed itself. Like that's a testament to old
No, it's
rings.
cool. It's yeah, for the age and everything, like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like based on like it's just like nowadays when you have like 3D assisted design and
Mm-hmm.
everything, like the possibilities are so like out of the world compared to what they could do, you
Yeah,
know.
man. 3D assisted design in a warehouse full of underpaid Chinese workers. Like the sky is the limit.
Ooh.
That's what my company uses.
Are they Chinese? I thought they might be like
So
Cocut or
we have an office in California that handles our customs. Fabrication is done in Zhengzhou, China. So
ah, okay,
yeah.
okay. Wait, oh, is that going to get tariffed or something?
No, because we're like a domestic company. We just have like a facility in China. Most of our business is done in the U.S., so we don't get touched. Our
Well,
headquarters is in Akron, Ohio. Like,
yeah, I get that. Like, but I mean, fucking Ford is nominally based in the U.S., but they import vehicles that they assemble in Mexico and Canada and Europe,
True. So
and
that
they're going to get hit
actually,
with tariffs.
I don't think we're getting hit with tariffs. Honestly, I just work in a store. My favorite phrase: "I just work here, man. I don't do that
I just work here, man.
stuff." Hey, how are you guys dealing with your customs with all those bro? I just work here. Like, you want me to clean your shitty ass chain? You and your girlfriend in your relationship of 17 months. And when I asked you how long you've been dating, you sighed like you're being led to the gallows. Like, yeah.
Oh man, how could I miss your Vance on Che what's his name? Che Ugar or whatever his name. What the fucking No Country for Old Men edit for JD Vance. How did I
Oh,
miss that?
I just posted that. That
Oh,
was my
okay.
like 10 minutes until live post. That's okay. We got some variations going out there. Like,
It might propagate. It might
exactly.
plant a seed.
There we go.
Did we get a viewer?
We
Oh, we
got a
got
viewer. We
two
got
viewers.
missile launch. One of them's you.
Oh wait, there's no visuals, man, on this stream.
What the fuck?
Turn the visuals on.
Goodness. It
Turn the
should
visuals
be.
on. Missile
Why
launch.
is
We're
it
so
not?
sorry that you're looking into the
Why
void. You're
is it?
just
Hang
listening to
on,
us.
hang
It's
on.
like
Why
the
is it?
podcast experience.
Why is it not? It's not doing what it's supposed
It
to
wouldn't be
do.
this podcast if it didn't have a technical difficulty
Of
at some
course.
point.
There we go. Sorry, guys. For some reason, Streamlabs, every time I fire this fucking program up, it just changes something. Like, I thought I was ahead of the game this time because I was like, all right, I'm going to go in. I'm going to make sure my microphone and my audio output capture, which is also not registering audio, even though, oh my God.
Wait, it's
Oh,
only showing like the front. Oh.
there we go. Oh, Lord.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
it's all with us. We're
We're
all
here
good.
now. We're here. Hello, everyone.
Mr. Lana
Welcome.
says sorry for being late. You don't have to be sorry. You missed almost nothing.
Okay. All right. Let me throw up the intro here and wipe my tears. Stand by. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Altar, episode 167. Where's the money, Zelensky? We believe in nothing, Zelensky. Yeah, nothing. So, we obviously we did not have a podcast episode last week, and as I was discussing earlier, I'm kind of glad we did not because, as always, when we miss a week, shit goes down, and then the following week we have stuff to talk about. Most notably, more shit with Ukraine. Some amazing JD Vance edits, memes, as you can see, is my current background. It's my current favorite one. And there was a not so friendly meeting between Zelensky and Trump and Vance in the White House. That has been the subject of a lot of discussion, and I am still of the opinion that we should not send money to Ukraine or Israel and tell them both to go fuck themselves.
Okay, here's a quick question. Do you think that the Zelensky moment at the end there and the less than ceremonious departure was staged or not? Do you think Trump and Vance had that in their back pocket and they were just waiting to ambush him? Or was it like genuinely, it just like actually went sour in
I
front of the cameras right then?
I genuinely don't know. Like, I always err on the side of caution, and I'm just like, it's probably staged, because like it usually is. But we're in that timeline now where it's like anything can happen. Like, this is the thing about a Trump presidency; it's just wild card every day.
I think like you have to anticipate like the level of calculation in this regime, which to be fair, I called the last administration a regime. I'm calling this one a regime too. Okay.
Word.
We're not
Consistency.
going to break the rule.
Consistency.
It's about consistency. Okay. I'm consistent. So
It's
this
about
regime,
ethics in gaming journalism. What?
It's about this regime seems infinitely more calculated than the last time they were in. They way know what they're doing more.
Yeah.
And like the idea that they would have like this like mostly pleasant meeting and then allow it to break down in like the last 10 minutes without being like, oh yeah, shit's not happening anymore.
All right, and then Vance, when I ask these questions, you're gonna go, and then have you ever said thank you? Please, Mr. President, can you say please and thank you for the weapons?
Mom said if you want more chicken tendies, then you have to say please, okay? If you really want barbecue sauce, then you have to say please and thank you.
I gotta say, I think my favorite thing about all of these JD Vance memes is that he's probably made a couple of dozen himself at this point.
Think so.
Like, he is fucking chronically online. We have a chronically online 4chan vice president.
No, he like he used to like kind of hang with Curtis Yarvin.
Yeah.
Which like and like he's in that like I want to know what his Twitter alt was, so that we could like go back and see what ridiculous memes he was posting.
That is now national security. We will not find out for 30 years.
No, it's going to be more on the LD than fucking like the Kennedy files are going to be in like the you know.
In 30 years, President Chalamet.
The Kennedy files and they're fucking.
Oh, no, of course, we're not going to.
Blacked out.
No, of course, yeah, it's going to look like the Twin Towers, just like.
Oh, and the fucking and the Epstein shit. They're like, please bring the evidence to us by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. This is a week ago.
Just fucking get it, man. If you're gonna post it. You're not. You're just causing more shenanigans. Like, you're like, oh, just kidding, and then you rickroll people.
Send the fucking U.S. Marshals in.
Yeah.
With a SWAT team.
Killer capture, man. Killer capture.
Like, do you not realize what game you're playing on this shit? This is what I've always said is like you're doing treason right now. You got elected, but you're still on the treason side. Like, you have to commit at a certain level.
You have to get certain things done. You got 3 years. You can't run for re-election again, Trump, which is like kind of your ace in the hole, but also like Vance has got to be able to pick it up, or they're just going to undo everything. Which I guess that's how the system works. But the thing is,
like, Vance, the way Vance is talking, like, he could have this in the bag, at least for like that quasi-libertarian.
He could. He's young enough where if he ran, like, he can make his own fucking memes. It's like all that brat bullshit that the Kamala Harris campaign.
All the memes about Vance are coming out right now.
Yeah.
Right? He'll be unmemeable, or he'll be like fully memed by the time he runs for president. Mm-hmm. And so like nothing will like phase the campaign when like something comes out, because it's like it's all been done.
Like this image behind me, he's going to walk out on stage and there's going to be a giant just like teleprompter just posting this image while he walks out to like the Imperial March music.
There's like black sun like pulsing on his forehead.
Oh my God. Oh, he's going to walk. He's going to have like a giant
The thing
lollipop.
is, like, that's such the ace in the hole is like that you not only are you the young guy who's like talking the talk and like mostly walking the walk and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But if you have already gone through all the like the complete meme cycle, and it's left and right are memeing him equally, but everybody finds it funny, so it's fine. Mm-hmm. Like anything that comes out against him, it'll just be like forgotten in a day or two, because that's already in the subconscious. Is like, oh, I'm just gonna see another funny JD Vance thing in another 30 minutes. Exactly. And so like I think he has it, man. Like it's gonna be 12 years of this.
Ugh. Amazing. Oh man, I can't wait. People are gonna be handing these out like Pokemon cards. I bet you he already has like a literal binder. Like, I'm waiting for them to take that meme where it's got Trump and he's got the executive order and he's like rotating in the chair and showing it to people. It's gonna be Vance doing it with like all those fucking like edits of himself. and like everybody in the room watching it is also going to be a JD Vance edit.
He hasn't addressed it at all. Like you said, he's probably created a few of them
Yeah,
himself.
he hasn't addressed it because he's too busy fucking making them. Like, JD, you should really come out here. Hang on, I'm finishing this one up. I'm making myself that dude from No Country for Old Men. Oh, let's check the chat.
Doge is like, wait, why did the U.S. government, vice president's office, spend like $1,000 on Dolly E meme, like image generation?
Oh my god. Vance is gonna wind up like locked in a room like Howard Hughes, just not going to the bathroom except for in jars, not trimming his nails or hair, and just like cranking these memes out. That's gonna be his presidency. So checking the chat real quick.
Yeah, Death Gelada says Jan should just be in it for the fact that he's not a mummified corpse. That's a great point.
Yeah, that is, yeah, man. Like
the fact that like we have a president who will take like a live press conference and like sit with a foreign leader in the Oval Office for like an hour in front of cameras and take questions throughout. Like, does the media not realize how complicit they were in like the Biden cover up of like how fucking geriatric and senile he was?
they're really just hoping everybody just gets mad at Orange Man and forgets about all
Yeah,
of it.
but like it's like light and day and night.
Yeah.
It's like there was a total eclipse of the sun, and like suddenly we're like, wait, what?
What? Suddenly you care about people who are not the president having influence about what happens in the government, huh? Oh.
But by the way, there's like all these protests, like nobody voted for Elon, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that for the last 6 months, Elon was on every single rally stage with Donald Trump.
Yeah, man. Like
this was a very known quantity.
There's also like election day, he went on the Rogan podcast and like gave a whole spiel about
Elon convinced Rogan to endorse Trump.
Yeah, man, like you can't discredit that. Like it's part of the package. It's part of the administration.
Yeah, like the idea that like, oh, nobody voted for Elon. I'm sure there's a lot of people who, if they could vote for Elon,
yeah, which
we're
not endorsing.
South African.
Yeah, exactly.
And can't ever be president. But this might be the closest Elon ever is to actually being president.
I just had a horrifying thought.
Is it like, yeah, what's going on?
I turned 35 this year. I can legally run for president.
Or Senate.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mitt Romney's retiring.
He is.
So you can run.
I could for the anarchist Utah senator. I just vote no on everything.
You could be even more base than Mike Lee.
I could, which wouldn't be hard. Because Mike Lee, I like Mike Lee, but
he's better than most. But
no, that's fair.
Like he's like second best in the Senate, but like obviously like Rand Paul's the best, and but like Mike Lee, yeah, he's a little bit of a sycophant on some issues.
Like the thing is, like when you're in Utah, you kind of have to play certain neocon-ish things up. So he does that. That's what his constituents want. They're politicians. That's what they do. That's what Rand Paul does.
Yeah.
That being said, I just think it would be really funny if I was given Secret Service protection and security clearance. I think that would be. I think I can be trusted with that.
Can you be you could get a DEI hire up to the Secret Service?
I could.
Why don't you contract brain cancer and then you can get hired to the Secret Service?
You know, I could just go for a swim in Utah Lake. I'd get a brain-eating amoeba real easy. But it'd be like a Mormon one, so it'd be like extra polite and like wouldn't kill me as fast. So I'd be right up there with RFK.
You go to Make-A-Wish.
Yep.
And you're like, hey,
I really want to be a Secret Service agent before I turn into a vegetable.
I really need to carry a gun in the White House.
I really need to, but you need to hurry because the truth is she drugs me to keep me a vegetable, and she's going to keep doing it. She drugs me to keep me a vegetable. Oh, man. man.
So, okay, what else happened? Musk is fired up about Rand Paul's rescission idea for
Hold
slashing spending up
on.
to 500 billion.
What's that? Death Chilada goes, based Ben for Congress, you'd get the APAC vote. Fuck, man. I don't want the APAC vote. Ugh. So, sorry, what were you saying?
Okay, Musk is fired up about Rand Paul's rescission idea for slashing spending up to 500 million, seeking to codify spending cuts pursued by Doge. Elon Musk held a closed-door lunch with Republican senators. He was said to be elated with Rand Paul's recommendation to make cuts stick with relatively expeditious budget slashing techniques called rescission. The approach would guide Dodge cuts and around federal judges who consider branch-initiated spending cuts as exceeding constitutional authority. Rescission offers a means by which presidents can collaborate with Congress to cancel previously appropriated spending, enabled by Title 10 of the Congressional Budget Impoundment Control Act of 1974. The rarely used process starts the president sending a special message to Congress, providing specific details about budgetary authorities he wants to rescind. Republicans holding a 53, I clicked on the picture, 53 to 47-7 majority. One of the most attractive aspects of rescission is it doesn't require 60 votes. Simple majority suffices to grant the president's wish. Josh Hawley told reporters Musk was elated with Paul's proposal. I think he didn't realize it could be done with 51. Said, according to Lindsey Graham, it was the first time Musk heard of the rescission process. He said Musk reacted by Trump triumphantly lifting his arms into the air. The approach promises to immunize Dodge spending cuts from federal judges who are skeptical about the executive branch's power to cut spending that was duly authorized by Congress. The week has seen two major developments that demonstrate the strength of that judicial headwind. Supreme Court rejected administration requests that negate a lower court's temporary injunction against Trump's freezing of almost $2 billion in foreign aid. In effect, the ruling compelled the White House to reopen the spigots by Amir Ali, who was, if I'm not mistaken, a Canadian national who was appointed to the court like 2 weeks before Biden left office. And a Rhode Island court district judge indefinitely blocked President Trump's freeze on federal grants and loans, arguing that the ruling that the White House had put itself above Congress and undermined democracy.
That was up like today, right?
Yeah, this is today.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. Rand Paul coming in clutch with like some budget process that Musk and Trump can use to actually do Doge stuff instead of having literally some unelected judge appointed in the
Obama administration.
In the Obama administration say that no, you have to spend infinity dollars on transgender operations for Ugandan mice. What else have we got?
Oh man.
Did you watch any SOTU stuff? I watched a little bit of it.
SOTU? Oh, so here's that confused me greatly. That was the state of
it's not a State of the Union because he's only been in office for 2 months.
Okay.
So it's like a joint address to Congress.
Fair enough, because that was I was like, oh, this should be like the State of the Union, but they're not calling it the State of the Union. But is it the State of the Union? But it's not. But it is. But it's not. But
it would be the State of the Union if he'd been in office for more than a year.
Interesting. Whatever.
Yeah, it's just a joint address to Congress. It's like in Article 2, the president shall address Congress on a regular basis, is what they say.
Oh,
so
word.
They just decided that it's 6 weeks after the inauguration. Okay.
Hey, why not?
Okay. What other? Yeah. So, did you watch any of it?
No. Like I saw little bits here and there, like memes. And, like
did
clips.
You see the congressman with like a pimp cane got
Al
removed
Green
by the sergeant at arms?
Yep.
Okay. In the background, watching JD Vance like look at the sergeant of arms. He points at him and he's like, "Ow!"
Oh, that should be
holy shit.
I did see all the fucking Democrats with like their little fucking paddles, little cuck paddles. That's a lie. No. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a big deal back when it was who was it? Jim Jordan's like at the Obama SOTU. he was like, "You lie,"
Yeah, I
to
remember that.
Obama in the middle of the thing. It was a big deal that somebody would interrupt the president in the middle of the State of the Union.
Hmm.
Like applause is normal, but like you would normally be like just silent, right?
Yeah.
And then now the Dems are like, "Oh yeah, like we're gonna have this like whole protest like choreographed dance thing going throughout the whole thing. Like it's all planned and
Hmm.
coordinated. Like, oh yeah, we know what to react to." And then they cheered for 5 years, 5 more years of Ukraine funding,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, that's the only thing they clap for.
Okay, okay, yeah, all right.
Speaking of which,
So,
what do we think's going to happen with that? Things have shifted
well,
dramatically in terms of balance of
okay,
power in the world as well.
weapons have ceased being shipped from the
Hmm.
Pentagon to Ukraine.
Hmm.
Um, now, what does that mean tactically on the battlefield right now? It's probably going to take a few weeks for
That to be felt.
supply lines to dry up,
Hmm.
basically, because like everything in transit, like, will be in transit
Hmm.
still. Um, so I don't know exactly what the munitions are on the field and everything like that. It seems like they've transitioned to a lot of like drone assisted artillery,
Hmm.
drone as artillery. Um, like the Kursk front has North Koreans allegedly like fighting off or retaking land,
It's hard to
and then
tell. Like we've all seen the reports about North Korean soldiers supposedly being deployed, but like there's also people who are like, no, they're like Far East Siberian troops, like a garrison from like the Vladivostok region or something like that, where they do have
well,
a
yeah, they
lot of
could be
like,
Yakuts
yeah.
or any other Siberian, like ethnicity, right? Like
Hmm.
there's tons of Asian people in Russia,
But it
the
is
Russian
it
Federation.
is admittedly funny to think about like North Korean soldiers on the front line getting like unrestricted Wi-Fi access and just blowing
Well,
their
they wouldn't
minds
have
open.
phones to begin with, right?
I
Like
mean, you
I
would hope not, but maybe I'm sure at least one dude smuggles one in. Like they get one from some fucking Russian guy, and they're like, "Oh, do not use GPS. They will coordinate. But if you want internet access,
Yeah, I mean I could see it. I mean they have a mutual defense agreement.
mm-hmm.
Um, where I would see is that the North Koreans would alleviate garrison duties on different parts of Russia's like home guard so that
They could just
units
take
could be
those."
shifted
Yeah.
from like I would see the North Korean units getting deployed to Finland or the Baltic
Mm-hmm.
and just be on garrison duty against those NATO countries. Like, because Finland's part of NATO now, in
Yep.
case you didn't remember
Mm-hmm.
that um, Finland, which fought 2 wars with Russia in the last 100 years over territory, is now we have a till death do we part guarantee that if Finland gets attacked at any point, like yeah, that we're going full Article 5 for them
Well,
allegedly.
that is, of course, provided the United States remains in NATO. Like, I don't see that changing. But,
Yeah, nothing ever happens, but
but,
the idea that we're teasing that we would get out of
yeah.
NATO
Like, we're just, like, the
is like,
fact that that's even out there is like, what?
well, I see on a couple different like Twitter accounts, like there are nationalist movements in, you know, Europe
Hmm.
that are pro NATO, right? Because they see like a pan-European
Hmm.
defense agreement as being like a generally good thing,
Hmm.
especially against Russia. And like, you know, us making ourselves out as like really pro-Russian or something like that. Like Russia is like totally into third worldism, like woke uh colonial narratives. If you didn't remember, like
Hmm.
they funded the rebels against Rhodesia. They um still to this day, like Wagner Group is operating to like overthrow. I mean, I hate to say that, call them like colonial regimes, but like pro-restaurant regimes that are like pro-trade and in Africa and stuff like that. Um, and like they very much are like on this wavelength of like, oh, every catastrophe that happened in the last 100 years, 2000 or 200 years is the West's fault, like France and Britain and the US. Although like I think they could change their tune very quickly if they got on the ends like with a mineral deal with the US or something like that. So, yeah, Russia. I don't know where we started on this.
No, you're good. I was gonna say too, like, I find it funny that for years, like, I know you've heard it, I've heard it, everyone's like heard like the, oh, the United States has all of these bases around the world. They don't need to be the world police. They need to mind their own business. And we finally get into a situation where it's like, all right, we're gonna stop funding this war and we're gonna stop getting involved. And we're gonna mind our own business. And everyone's like, you can't do that. What the heck, man? You have to get involved. We need the world police right now. And it's like, what? What the fuck? Where did this come from? I'm not saying we should be the world police. I actually like the whole us not being involved in shit. But what the fuck? The 180 is unreal. What happened to the anti-war anything? The anti-war left is completely dead. Like, we've made the joke for years that they have not around just because they're not politically convenient, but they are truly dead and gone.
No, it doesn't exist.
It's gone. The neocons are now Democrats. That's where we're at, man.
Well, yeah, Bill Kristol and I hate to say George Bush because like George Bush isn't totally in this camp. I would say Dick Cheney's more in this camp.
Dick Cheney has the ability to be in the camp. George Bush is like, it's like bring your kid to work day. Like he's there because he has to be because Dick Cheney's there. But like otherwise, he doesn't do anything. He's just coloring in the corner. Like it's fine.
Dick and Liz Cheney and Bill Kristol and I mean, who else could we try and name off? They are migrating to. They have completed the migration to the Democratic Party, right? Like it's beyond a doubt now that Trump won the last election. Like they're fully on the Democrat side. So yeah, it's like it just makes sense now. So I think as far as neocons go, it's nice.
It is.
It's nice knowing that they're kind of over there. The problem is like even seeing Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. Did you see him at that press conference? And he's like sitting there in like the most defeated.
Yeah, I didn't. He didn't
lumpy position.
He was like a body pillow, just chilling next to Vance. And he tried. I don't know. He said something at the end. I don't know if it was during the meeting or immediately afterwards about. I don't know. Yeah, he just looked defeated and just not comfortable. Did not want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's ready to toe the line because he wants a future in politics. Is where he sees the thing. But it's there's been observations that the administration, the regime, is not from it. It's only the Republican ticket in name. Like it's secretly a third party that is the leftovers of some elements of the Democrat and Republican Party, and that the old Republicans are kind of the Whigs in Congress and in the Senate right now, right? Like they're basically Whigs. They just don't realize it yet because it's so fucking slow moving to get like an entire party switched over to this new thing, and there's so much institutional inertia. And that they say like MAGA's this cult. Well, yeah, it's a cult because like there's only like a handful of people who are like on board of this thing. And it's like hard to define this new thing. And like obviously like Vivek got like shown the door from this administration and is like, okay, yeah, you can run for Congress or run for the governorship.
That's fine.
Just like as long as you're not close to the executive branch right now, like you like please leave.
Please do not redeem. Please leave.
Do not redeem.
Do not redeem, sir.
Dude, I fucking filed my taxes a week or two ago. I got a nice little refund.
Of
But
course you did, you public worker.
um, well, I mean, I say that in spite of me having fucking done a bunch of side gigs and shit like that.
Hmm.
It's the home interest mortgage credit.
Right. Yes.
That's where I get a refund every year.
Okay, fair
Um,
enough.
so anyways, the yeah, I filed my taxes, and then like the same afternoon, I get like a call from like a California number, and then it's like just this busy call center, and it's this Indian accent chick, like, "Oh, hello," and I'm like, I just started laughing, and I didn't even want to be like, what went across my head. I was like, "Hey, are you calling from the city that's gonna get hit by the asteroid? Because I hope it does."
Oh, but the asteroid's not gonna hit anymore,
It's not gonna
man.
hit anymore.
Ah, it
Like,
was gonna wipe Mumbai off the planet. Now it's not gonna. Ah, actually, I don't know. Could you imagine the smell globally if an asteroid hit
oh,
India and
it's
just
just
kicked up
carbon. It's
all?
just burnt. It's just a fire.
No, man. Like that dust traveling through the world. It's the jet stream's gonna pick that shit up. It's gonna smell like curry everywhere. Everywhere, man. That shit's pungent.
Well, maybe so. Maybe so.
Maybe so. Many such cases. Oh man, what else? What else happened? Um. Oh, I
Here,
have
I'm
been
gonna grab
noticing.
another beverage.
Go for it.
Go ahead and fill.
I was just gonna say I have been noticing gas has actually been coming down a little bit. Past couple of weeks, it's been like 309 here for 87. Now it's like 289 for 87, which is nice. I don't use 87 though. I use 88 specifically, an ethanol free 88 that is available to anyone who shops at Maverick gas stations for anyone who's on the go. Um, but it's great just because ethanol free gas is way better for your engine. But yeah, like gas is kind of coming down a little bit, which is interesting. I mean, it's not quite travel season, but it is getting warmer, so like more people do travel this time of year. So, Max, I was just saying, I don't know how it has been locally with you, but here in Utah, gas has been coming down a little bit. A couple weeks ago, it was like 309, and today for 87, it's 289. So,
Yeah, I used my like my grocery store rewards, and I just fueled up before I had dinner on my way home from work, and it was yeah, it was 289 with the like grocery store discount. There's cheaper gas in town,
mm-hmm.
um, but I don't trust it that much.
Yeah.
It's like they like have everything in house, like from the transportation. It's not like we don't have refinement out here
Mm.
and everything
Do
and
you
gas supply.
do you have Maverick stations out by you?
Yeah, we have Maverick. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, just go there and do like their ethanol free. That's what I do.
Yeah, it depends on the state actually.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
it depends on the type of gas up. So like
Mm-hmm.
in the small towns out by the mountains, almost all of them have uh almost all of them have ethanol free
Mm-hmm.
for the snowmobiles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you pay a little premium, or not a little premium. You pay a premium for it for
Mm-hmm.
sure
Yeah.
to get ethanol free. And then there's some stations in town that carry ethanol free, like premium. And like back when I had a turbo on my old Ford that exploded, it you know, you could get some extra power out of putting 91 or 93 ethanol free into it or whatever. But my current car, it's like I don't know what's the difference.
No, I gotcha. I just like the idea of not feeding my truck corn.
Fair enough, but yeah, if I could get ethanol free all the time and like it made sense, that's fine. But I had like since I do my own oil changes, I change my own oil every 3,000 miles.
There you
So
go.
it's like it just doesn't matter that much. Like I won't get that bad of deposits. If I'm changing it at half intervals compared to everybody or
True.
compared to like the oil life and stuff like that.
Oh, I miss being able to do my own oil. I need a house.
Yeah, dude. Well, maybe that's coming around.
Maybe, yeah.
The I have not seen a house sell for asking in the last few months.
They've been coming down a little bit. Like, I don't want to say that
I know it
and
depends on
jinx it.
market, right?
Depends on the market and where you're at. And like, but I'm noticing some places in Utah, like there are some places coming available for under 400K that are like they're decent. Like they're smaller, they're like starter homes, but it's like pretty fair. Like the 380 for like a 2-2 that's like recently renovated is it's not bad. It's got a good yard,
Okay.
got a good driveway.
I mean,
Like,
especially where you're at, like,
yeah,
I mean, you got to remember, like, all of the, like, main Salt Lake area is within an hour of a ski resort, a world class
exactly,
ski resort,
exactly.
and so, like, you're competing with like people who want that for your homes,
Hmm.
plus Mormons who just infinitely reproduce.
Yeah, that makes it difficult. But what can you do?
What can you do? No, so I have been actually this week. I went through the process of I called up my mortgage company and I wanted to get my private mortgage insurance removed,
Hmm.
which involves getting my house reappraised. So I had the home appraiser come out,
Mm-hmm.
or first I had to send them like the whole list of all the renovations I've made and all the receipts and shit like that. And I added it up and I realized that in the um basically the 3 years, four-ish years, actually, four-ish years that I've had this house, I have spent $40,000 on renovations.
forty
Uh,
thousand dollars.
yes.
Well, I mean, if the house looks good, if it pays off, shit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are just like functional stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so ultimately, like, yeah, I put together all that info, and then they're like, okay, we'll send an appraiser out to reappraise the home.
Mm-hmm.
And because I bought in 21, and then houses
Exploded.
went. I mean, they were already expensive back
Mm.
then compared to what they were just a year or two ago. But then they
Yeah.
like really went up.
Yeah.
And then like the appraiser's out here, and he's like, okay, well, like what would you think the house is worth? And I'm like, well, based on the improvements, and then based on the local market, I would see this house selling tomorrow for at least 375 if I just said that it's
Mm-hmm.
a 4 bed 2 bath
Mm-hmm.
and has yard and a shed and a garage, and it's a standalone home. It's not a all that stuff. It's got an alley access, so it's
Mm-hmm.
not like I only have 2 neighbors, not 3.
Word.
Stuff like that. And I and so I'm like, yeah, 375. He's like, oh, okay. Um, and he's like kind of asking me like, okay, what's the minimum I can say to the bank to like do what you want to do out of this appraisal?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, my PMI, my private mortgage insurance would disappear as long as you said the house was worth, 290 basically, or 280. Um,
That's. Mm.
but that would be very optimistic for my area because again, I live within an hour of a ski resort
Yeah,
in the
honestly,
mountains.
man, if you want that, you need to go outside every night between 7 and 9 o'clock and just pop off a couple rounds. It's the only way you're gonna get your house value down to that.
No, oh no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I want my house to be more valuable.
Yeah,
I don't want the tax assessor to think my house is more valuable.
exactly. Yeah.
But I want the bank to think my house is very valuable. I want the insurance company to think my house is very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Um because like yeah, if I can wipe out my private mortgage insurance, that is just more money in the pocket. All I'm doing right now is paying them for the fact that I didn't put 20% down on the house because I was trying to own a home under the age of 30.
Yeah, that's how
And
dare
I
you?
found a way to make it work.
How dare you?
And it's not like a huge amount, but
Hmm.
like, uh, yeah, I think it's like I spent $40,000 on the house, like a cottage in my town, a cottage, a literal 1 bed, 1 bath cottage, single floor, like 600 square feet house
Mm-hmm.
goes for about $300,000. Okay. So, yeah, I think I have it in the bag to get rid of the PMI.
Yeah,
I just hope it doesn't fuck up like my taxes too much or anything like that. But whatever.
whatever. I'm just going
The
through.
appraiser will come through. There was a bill this year to get rid of property tax or in Wyoming. So it initially went through and then they got amended to make it 50% of the gains in property tax since 2019, which is like fair. Like, okay, at least like give us some relief because like, the fact that we're paying double the property tax we did 5 years ago
Mm-hmm.
for no greater services, like fuck off. Come on.
Exactly.
Um so that bill then also got nuked, I think is the thing. But the
Mm-hmm.
good thing that did come out of the Wyoming state legislature is that we got campus carry.
Heck yeah, man.
So that finally got legalized. It's not that nobody was carrying guns on campus.
Well, now you just can't
Um,
get in trouble for what you've already been doing.
um, but starting July 1st, campus carry will be legal with a permit. So Wyoming is a constitutional carry state, but they still
Mm-hmm.
offer a permit, obviously, so you can carry in other states.
Utah does
And
the same
it's
thing.
it's like it's enhanced so that like yeah, you can carry in certain areas that non-permit carriers can hold, which
Mm-hmm.
includes the campus on the
Exactly.
university. So I guess um yeah, I checked and my Colorado permit is expired and obviously I'm not a resident anymore, so I should get my carry permit up because I go to Colorado like every week.
Mm-hmm.
So um if I want to legally carry out of state. And fuck, like Colorado's so fucked up these days. They're just like they're on the verge, I think, of passing like a really like the most severe assault weapons ban in the nation right now.
Yeah, that's.
It's like worse than California's.
I've been seeing a little bit of that on Tumblr. Ink and Guns has been posting about it a little bit, but like I haven't really been following it. I do have so my store, our company is broken up into districts, and my district actually shares Colorado. So I do actually hear some things from some people, and like at work, I have an AR-15 lapel pin that I like to wear. So occasionally I'll get conversations from some people who are in Colorado stores talking about it, and yeah, it sounds like some fucking draconian nonsense that you'd expect from Democrats and after losing an
Well,
election,
so
essentially.
yeah, their hang up is that like, oh, it's not an assault weapons ban. What it really is a semi-automatic weapon with detachable magazine ban.
Mm-hmm. Which
Okay, so
is what they do. They start playing like fucking word games and word salad with like firearm definitions to like anything that looks conspicuous and has a detachable ammunition storage device that has an angle that is any more than 39 degrees but less than 179 degrees. Like just weird shit just to get as much as they can into this stupid fucking dragnet.
yeah, so essentially the idea is like, oh, if you had an SKS with a 30 round fixed magazine, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the second you have a detachable mag for an
Oh,
AK with 30 rounds,
oh, now you're gonna shoot up a school, man.
yeah, now you're going to shoot up a school with it. Now they built in an exception for it, which is that you can take a hunter's ed course and like a scared straight about school shootings course that you do every 5 years, and you can
Mm-hmm.
get an exemption, which is basically like the assault weapons permit for Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
is the way I read the law. So, um, like when they do stuff like this, especially based on recent court rulings, they know like they can't get away with the same shit they got away with in California and New York and New
Mm-hmm.
Jersey and everything like that.
They're
Like
still gonna
if
try.
they're still going to try, but they can't write like a verbatim like California assault weapons ban.
Yeah.
And so they're trying something else. They're just seeing what will stick, and hopefully some district court, strikes it down. But it's probably the same district court that says that like we have to send infinite money to
Ukraine.
Brazilian pride parades. I'm
Exactly.
pretty sure they have all the money they need at Carnival.
Don't
To
forget
have
the musical number produced in Australia to teach Aboriginals the importance of being gay. That too, and tuning out.
the
Hmm. It's funny because you could make up some wacky shit like, yeah, man, we were funding transsexual freedom fighters in Botswana, and it's like, actually, no, we were. There was actually money going towards individuals in Botswana that use the money for exchange operations, but that's
listen,
okay.
we were funding some Burmese rebels how to make active camouflage
Hmm.
from Crisis, okay? And
Hell yeah.
that's a legit thing.
That's okay. That I'm okay funding that. We need to fight the cephalopods. Like the Ceph is a real threat, man. I don't know what you know about the Ceph, but that's a real threat.
Oh no, fuck those fuckers.
Oh, yeah, but I'm
They're
reinstalling Crisis.
multi-spiral DNA shit,
I'm
whatever the fuck they're made out of.
reinstalling Crisis. Stand
Go
by.
back to Europa.
Go
All
back to
right?
the ocean.
No, they don't even belong in our ocean. Okay, go
Yeah.
back to Enceladus.
Go back to Titan. You fuckers. The only good squid is a dead squid.
Oh, did you see that there's rumors, at least, that they're remaking Starship Troopers? Oh, did I ruin your night again?
No. I should guess that was coming. I thought that would be safe though, because that was like they weren't rebooting that. They just kept making like endless sequels that just continuously sucked.
Yeah,
It
that was
got
the thing.
it got to the point where they just started doing like computer animation, like that Final Fantasy movie, Spirit Within, or whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah.
where you have voice actors, but everyone's just like a cutscene.
Yep. Yeah, no. I remember watching the second one being like, what the this is like it was like a made for sci-fi
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, dude, it was
Um
bad. It was
and
awful.
and it was just like literally a bottle episode. Like they spent all the money on like maybe one CGI sequence,
Hmm.
and then like the rest of it, like all the characters are just like in this one facility, like having this like heart to heart thing going
Back and
on.
forth, yeah,
And like it wasn't even well written, so like you didn't even care. um
yeah.
but like I don't know, do you have any thoughts on the Verhoeven movie and media literacy? Because I have some thoughts about watching it multiple times growing up and in the present, and what leftists perceive as media literacy about that film.
Well, I mean, I think what's important to take away is that the bugs are actually the good guys. Just,
No,
you gotta.
you should watch a movie where beautiful young people are being annihilated by genocidal bugs that live in a hive mind,
Mm,
and sympathize with those creatures because
mhm,
they're the real victims.
they are.
Okay.
Do you know what would just be
And
terrible? If bugs from another planet that were hostile to us launched an asteroid and wiped out Buenos Aires, and then all of the fallout from that caused a bunch of anti bug propaganda to be spread? That would just be awful.
can can you imagine the backlash against bugs?
Seriously, like, that's what I'd be concerned
That would
about.
be the
Like,
worst thing.
that would be the worst thing about millions of people getting nuked by a bug
About
asteroid.
yeah, about literally demolishing all of Buenos Aires.
Exactly. I'm from
The
Buenos
thing is,
Aires, and I say kill them all.
the thing is like, and this was the observation that I read, which is that like Verhoeven might have been like this Dutch kid that grew up under Nazi occupation for a little bit,
Mhm.
and like became a leftist, but he forgot to read the book and just wanted to make like this anti-Nazi movie. But then he's like got the mind of a 10-year-old. So
Mhm.
he's like, it has to look cool
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah.
So he accidentally just makes like a movie that looks cool the entire time.
Oh, this guy's supposed to be a dystopian, like, oh, he's a teacher and he's a military guy. We need to make him not cool. Hey, Michael Ironsides, you doing anything? You'd be fucking awesome for this role.
So, anyways, yeah, they're gonna have all these gray fatigues with body armor and like really cool assault rifles
Mm-hmm.
and rocket launchers, and they're gonna blow up these bugs that just wantonly kill people and tear them apart.
Mm-hmm.
And
I will
by the way, it's
say,
an allegory.
I will say, the CGI for the spaceships in the first Starship Troopers is really, it looks bad. Like the bugs are tolerable.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
spaceships,
the
it's
space scenes don't look good anymore.
nope.
I remember when it came out, like it was cool,
It was
right?
cool,
But
yeah.
the bug scenes aged well, but that's because a lot of them are actually practical. Like they built practical bugs
Mm-hmm.
and had like actors interact with them, and then the CG artists actually had references for the bugs because they could photo scan that model
Mm-hmm.
and then put it in. I'm just saying this as somebody who makes films and stuff, but so yeah, they were they did a good they had like a physical reference for that, but then like they never made miniatures for like the ships or whatever in space, and so all the space scenes they look like a bad cut from like TNG basically.
Literally.
Yeah, it's disappointing for like that caliber of film
Mm.
that like they wouldn't think to like, hey, we could at least shoot miniatures on a black or a blue screen
Yeah.
like Star Wars did
Exactly. It
20
worked
years
for Star
more.
Wars in the fucking 70s. It would have worked for you guys, but it's okay. It's all right. It's like a very
Um,
short part of the movie too is in space, so it really doesn't matter that
no,
much.
they kind of edit it out as much as they can.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, the guy was just too stupid to like make his high art film where
Yeah.
he's trying to criticize Robert Heinlein's like libertarian society, which I like. The more and more I come around to it, I'm like, I realize that I think like the limited democracy idea that he was proposing
Hmm.
makes more sense.
Well,
It's like halfway to Hoppa. You know what
yeah,
I'm
it
saying?
is a little bit. It is a little bit.
It's halfway to Hoppa, and it's not worse than what we've got right now.
No, it's really not. Plus, I mean, it would be cool to participate in space colonialism.
Yeah. So did 40K stuff come out after Heinlein? I must have, right?
I think so. Let me, Jamie, look this up. Hang on.
Yeah, Jamie looked that up. So rug pulling APAC sounds like such a clever idea. What could
Oh,
possibly go wrong?
well, I
Says
mean,
JC.
I'm single with no family, so it's not like they can kill my wife.
Um. Uh. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's okay. The question was Warhammer 40K.
Yeah. So
I think Warhammer 40K kind of came out 90s and stuff, right?
hang on. Let's see.
So yeah, as you're looking up, I'll fill a little
Yeah,
bit.
so the
I'm
first
thinking
edition of the Warhammer 40K rulebook was published in September of 1987. So, yeah.
87. Okay.
So, even if it was like sort of thought up in like the 70s, Starship Troopers were published in 59. So, Troopers was
Yeah,
definitely first. Yeah.
that's what I thought. Yeah. Heinlein was way ahead of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, like yeah, Heinlein, I need to read more of his books
Mm.
and kind of see where he was at because he's like somewhere after Tolkien, right? Because Tolkien had like this British approach to fantasy political commentary in a sense. The more I watch, like I just rewatched The Lord of the Rings,
Mm-hmm.
and then I need to reread the books too because obviously I have way more in it substance wise than the films even do. Um, they just they have this like very 20s 30s sensibility about how to deal with the modern universal democratic state, which is to say Like, oh, like maybe you can have a elected mayor in your small village, but like other than that, you have like a benevolent king
Yep.
who can do this stuff. And then Heinlein reacts to the like World War II with like this idea about limited democracy, or I don't know what he described as maybe his ideal, but there are a couple of different books where he's just like kind of writing it out as a thought experiment. Um, like Mars is a cruel mistress, and he didn't do that was Philip K. Dick that did do electric
Do
or
androids
do
dream of
androids
electric
dream
sheep?
of
Yeah,
electric sheep.
yeah, that was Philip K. Dick. You also have
Um,
oh man, what stand by, hang on, let me look something up.
well, there's Frank Herbert in Dune.
Yeah, there's another one he did not hang on. Okay, that's the name. It's oh geez, Arthur C. Clarke.
Arthur C. Clarke, yes, 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 yes. Wait. So, 2001: Space Odyssey is
Mm-hmm.
one of his, right? And
Rendezvous
then
in
what else?
Rama is another one. That's a really well
Okay.
known one. What else? What else did he do?
So no, Arthur C. Clarke, he was interesting because like he wrote 2001. It got made relatively quickly into the Kubrick film,
Mm-hmm.
and then like he wrote a sequel to it, and it like didn't go anywhere
It wasn't
commercially.
very good. It just I saw the movie too, and it was just not.
Well, who made it? Like, I mean, it's hard to top Kubrick, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. This is true.
um, no, there was like this great era of American sci-fi,
Mm-hmm.
specifically sci-fi, like the British produced fantasy novels. Even today, like Rowling makes made a fantasy novel, right?
Oh no, Harry Potter's real.
Harry Potter's the biggest property that there is.
Harry Potter is a
Um,
documentary.
it is.
Yes,
Of what?
the troubles in
Oh,
Ireland.
okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Checks out. But then like, okay, yeah, Dune recently had its big resurgence with the
Mm-hmm.
Villeneuve films and stuff. But I like the American sci-fi vein that existed, and obviously like George Lucas was copying a lot of Dune for Star Wars, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean he made it its own, and it's like its own thing at this point. Um, so I mean, but George Lucas is obviously American as well.
Mm-hmm. You also have
Um,
Star Trek, of course. Can't forget that.
yeah, and that's Roddenberry. What's his name?
I
Gene Roddenberry.
Star.
And so yeah, like the transition from British fantasy to American sci-fi in idealism,
Mm-hmm.
and like uh, it started out as fucking not the X-Files, the Twilight Zone,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and you get all these little short stories that a lot of them are Arthur C. Clarke or Heinlein or Herbert short stories for the original Twilight Zone seasons, and they transition from being like these little thought experiments, like, oh, what if I write like a little sci-fi horror like vignette for like that could just be like a 20-minute episode,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, what if humans were on a zoo in Mars,
What
right?
if there were two astronauts on the moon and one of them killed the other one with a rock? Wouldn't that be fucked up?
Wouldn't that be fucked up? What if a kid could blow people up with his mind? Wouldn't that
Oh,
be fucked
wouldn't that
up?
be fucked up? What if a dude, what if he just wanted to read and then the world ended and he finally had time to read and then his glasses broke? Wouldn't that be fucked up?
So, but then those same authors, like I should look up for sure, like who the writers were for the Twilight series or like what they used for source material. But like then it turns into these like massive space opera epics and stuff. And like the main theme of all of them is that they're experimenting with like very non-American political systems as their like basis for what future societies would embrace.
So one
Like
of my
they see the very that they see American like constitutionalism as very temporary or like fleeting in respect. Like people in the 60s were like looking at this and being like, oh yeah.
So there is another sci-fi writer I actually really personally like. His name's David Drake, and he did kind of a smaller, lesser-known series called Hammer Slammers, which is usually it's just like a series of books, and it is also a tabletop game a little bit, but it hasn't been incorporated to any movies or TV shows yet. But it's very like, excuse me, it's like Starship Troopers. If Heinlein wrote from the perspective of a dude who was a tank gunner in Vietnam. So he's very like lots of technical details. You could really make the argument that he was probably like influenced by Clancy a little bit, just on like the
Mm-hmm.
scale of like what he discusses. But it's very interesting because the Hammer Slammers is this like spacefaring mercenary company. They're like the top mercenaries in the universe, and they are hired by various factions across the universe to go down to planets and like enforce government rule or like help rebel groups like overthrow governments based on what their contracts are. But there's this very cool system that honestly, whenever I read it, I always think of Marcel. And like I feel like because it talks about like a bonding agency and how the bonding agency is like how the entire system works, because if you want to form a mercenary company, you have to be accepted by the bonding agency because you attempt to take jobs and like you're not approved, every mercenary company can like essentially just letter of mark your ass to death. And it's this really complex system, but it's also just these really cool sci-fi battles where it's like Starship Troopers, but they're all mechanized infantry, so they're all based on like these futuristic tanks and these combat cars that have these Gatling guns with like iridium ammunition that just like melt shit. And it's so technically just gory, I guess, in some aspects, the way
Mm.
he talks about it. And it's really well done too, because a lot of it, like what they deal with is like he'll take like different like political issues between like warring Greek states back in the day, between like Athens and Sparta, or like certain specific battles. Like he'll make like a version of that, but it's like like a space battle, and it's really well done because I don't know, it's the details really good, and I wish it had more notoriety because I feel like if it hit mainstream, there'd definitely be like a ooh like between 40K and like Starship Troopers, but it's also like there's tanks, so like it's cool. Like you
Well,
could have
there's
like a toy
there's
market.
the Mech Warriors series,
Yeah,
right?
that
Which like
too.
this
Yeah.
sounds very similar to as far as the lore on Mech Warriors.
hmm But there's this really good one where like they're being hired by this government to suppress this like rebellious group of aliens, and the aliens are like basically the fucking Viet Cong because they live in jungles and caves, and they have the ability to like warp around using these magical stones. And the Hammer Slammers are like, huh, okay, we're going to use this special artillery full of micro shrapnel that will shred everything on an atomic level whenever we use it. But cool, yeah, if you want to warp around, that's neat. And it's just, I don't know, like, it's like, oh, cool, it's like Vietnam, but they have, like, space lasers. It's just, I could fucking nerd out about this.
Turns out that Vietnam draftees were so confused about how the Viet Cong could ambush them because they had like an average IQ of like 80 or something because
Yeah.
McNamara drafted a bunch of mental incompetence to be in the military, which
Mm.
were basically cannon fodder. But
Hmm.
oh, a notable uh, uh, Twilight Zone writer that I missed, Ray Bradbury
Oh,
of
yeah, man.
Fahrenheit
Oh,
451.
yeah. How would we forget that? Fuck. And,
Yeah, and like he didn't just work as like, oh, they adapted one of Ray Bradbury's stories. He was like a writer for the series,
mhm.
like adapted the works into teleplays and everything like that. No, like yeah, the American sci-fi like golden age, it like sort of continues in a sense,
Mm,
but there was definitely like a 2010s drop off,
Yeah.
2000s to 2010s drop off,
Recently, you had
which corresponds ironically with the vulgar era when it's like it's supposed to be like the vulgar era was like when like men's teens media like was at its peak with like sex in movies, like
yeah.
it was Euro Trip and American Pie
Oh
and
man.
all
R.I.P.
that
Michelle
stuff.
Trachtenberg.
Yeah, yeah. But like we had this era of like that was so ripe for like that kind of media, right?
Mhm.
And then like none of it got produced. Like I mean maybe like Armageddon came out and then like the
You had
Star Wars
Armageddon. You
prequels.
had Deep Impact or Deep Horizon. I don't remember which one it was. It was the one with oh god, Morgan Freeman's the president, and you have the meteor, and they go up. Not the meteor, the comet. It was a comet. Armageddon was the asteroid,
Yeah.
and then this other one was the comet, which partially hits the Earth, and there's like a big flood and shit. But yeah, that was the thing for a while too. Was like the team has to go up into space and like stop the Earth from getting destroyed by some galactic threat. Independence Day.
There was
Independence
Independence
Day.
Day. And then I mean who else was there? So yeah, there was like a 90s 2000s thing. I'm just trying to remember like a 2010s like sci-fi film
Mhm.
that was like awesome.
Chronicles of Riddick weren't bad.
Oh, okay. Chronicles of Riddick. Yes, I will
Pitch
agree with
Black.
that.
Pitch Black 2
That
was
was pretty
also
dope.
very good.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'm thinking of those as the same film series, but
I
yes.
mean, yeah, for the most part.
And then what about when did Arrival come out?
Arrival.
2016.
I did not
Arrival was
like
pretty good.
I didn't like Arrival. I like certain parts of Arrival, but like I I don't know. It was the whole contacting the aliens thing that's cool, but like the ending and like the overall message of the movie, like I did not
No,
appreciate.
it was a little, yeah, it lost itself a
A little
bit.
bit, a little bit.
Uh 2010s sci-fi.
Oh, Pacific Rim.
On Okay, Pacific Rim was great.
Mm.
Honestly, like one of the most disappointing sequels of all time.
Oh
Like
my
I had to turn
god.
off the sequel after like 15 minutes.
I think I made
Like
it 45 minutes, and I was hoping for something, and it was just ugh, it was so
yeah.
bad. We should just turn this podcast into more of like we occasionally just become red letter media, but we swear more. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Sure. Sure, sure, sure.
just certain
Uh
episodes because yeah.
if I mean like we could go it would take like a ridiculous amount of time to like read back through or like watch back through and then like edit in clips of the movies we're talking
Oh
about. But
yeah,
I don't.
no. I mean, we could do that. I just meant like we could like talk about this more because clearly, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean honestly, like what have we got? We had like 5 or 6 listeners live. Like
Mm,
seems like people are a little bit interested.
yeah. We
Starship
have.
Troopers, will it be stupid or will it be awesome? The new
Mm,
one.
it'll depend on whether or not Zendaya is in it. If
Honestly,
Zendaya's in
the
it,
movie's not confirmed until Zendaya is announced
oh
as a
fuck.
cast member.
Then no, it's gonna be bad. I did like Crown Patriot. So this was like a '90s movie, but do you remember Event Horizon?
Oh, the Sam Neill and
Yeah,
they go to the black hole and it's like Catholic hell for some
it's
reason.
like it's funny because it's very arguably like the Event Horizon could be argued to be like really early on Warhammer 40k thing because that's like a thing in
Yeah.
40k. Like if you don't
Yeah,
have
no,
a
they visit the Chaos Realm or
yeah,
whatever.
like if you warp speed without a Geller field, you just get like mind raped by demons. So it's like yeah, okay, like you can see that. But Crown Patriot on Tumblr made a joke that they should redo that, and I made the joke that they should hire Zendaya on to play the Event Horizon. I think that would be a good role for her. Oh,
So yeah, part of my job is or one of my favorite parts of my job is getting to do like little film reviews of sci-fi stuff from
mhm.
time to time. And so yeah, you're inspiring me because like
Astronomer reacts.
yeah, no, I legitimately like we do like you know, I could talk for an hour if we sat down and like watched the film, and obviously for like YouTube, we'd have to like really cut it down.
We really would. Yeah, we have to figure out a way to do
But
that.
like if I sat down and watched a film like with you side by
Mm.
side, and we'd like react to it, and like I could talk about like the different things that are going on in it in a sci-fi, because like A, I'm coming at it from a scientist perspective, but B, I'm
Mm.
also coming at it from like a libertarian's perspective. Um, which would be unique,
It would.
I
It would.
think,
That would be an
sort of.
interesting shtick, I think.
So
Yeah.
okay.
We are also, this has been a great episode, but we are 20 minutes over what we normally do, which is
Cheers,
fantastic.
we'll drink to that.
Yeah, man. See, get us talking about fucking movies. We'll get you another whole fucking little slew of content here, folks. But, oh, Pandorum. Oh, that's a good mention. Oh, cannot forget Pandorum. So I will say, Pandorum dragged a little bit in like the middle. Not enough to make it like a bad movie, but the ending really actually creeped me the fuck out. Like that.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
So I can't spoil it for you because like it's this part of the
Looks
movie
like some H.L.R. Geiger shit.
it kind of is, but like I can't. You have to watch it because there's this twist at the end of the movie. It's like a twist within a twist because you think it's one thing and then it turns out to be something completely different, and it's done well because it goes from like the one thing is like incomprehensibly horrible to, oh wait, no, this is fantastic, we just got to hit a button. And it's like it's just really well done, but I cannot share the details with you because it's a direct spoiler. But you should watch that. You should definitely watch Pandorum.
Okay. Yeah, no, it looks cool.
Mm-hmm. But anything
Yeah,
else?
I don't want to keep reading the plot synopsis here. So
No, you're good. Did we have anything else we want to talk about or cover or mention? I think we hit everything and more. So yeah, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, as always, thank you for joining us. We have actually had 32 views on this episode. I don't know if that's individual views or just people coming back and forth, but thank you, y'all. That's pretty cool. Um, we might be back next week. We might not be back till the week after. It will kind of depend on what happens in the news cycle and what happens in our lives. But other than that, we hope you all stay safe and stay well. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, taxation's theft.